Elon Musk, what's your opinion on Israel?
Doge, Tesla, meme. Yes, Doge, Tesla, meme. Car, space.
Interesting. I am unfortunately recording right now.
I'm also recording.
Okay, kudos. Okay, you got to tell the story because we've been teasing this for like a month now.
Oh, that story. Okay, yeah. I went to Keemstar's Airbnb mansion and got naked. Hi, welcome to the first podcast. I'm Mini Kudos. You're listening live with Dopplex TV and Lars from Norway.
Dopplex.
Lars descended from Tenzing Norgay, the Sherpa who helped
I feel like if
Sir
if
Edmund
mine is
Hillary get to the
mispronounced,
top
we have to mispronounce
Everybody
Lars'
talk over
name
each
as
other.
well.
Wait, kudos, can you explain that reference?
What?
What's the Tenzing? What?
This is, you're Lars from Tenzing Norgay. He's the Sherpa who helped.
What does that mean?
Yeah, well, hold on. He's the Sherpa who helped Sir Edmund Hillary climb to the top of Mount Everest. The first man on top of Mount Everest.
Oh, little trivia fact for you.
His name's Tenzing Norgay, and I always think that when I see Lars from Norway, I'm like, what rhymes with Norway? Norgay.
Oh, okay.
His last name.
Okay, so continue the story.
Yeah.
His name starts with K.
That's a spicy reference. Yeah, so last year, pre-world exploding, Killer Keemstar, host of Drama Alert Nation, which by the way, Dopix, you need a lot more Drama Alert themed sound bites on your board. So
I really do.
Please work on that.
I will.
He came to Australia because if you remember, pre-COVID, the biggest threat facing us was the country being on fire. So while that was happening, Keemstar came over in his infinite kindness to do a charity something or other. I can't actually remember what he did. He came over for some charity themed reason where he was raising money for the bushfires. I think. Well, that's what he said anyway. And he was coming over here and he was going to film a bunch of stuff.
He was starting the fires.
Yeah, so I think he was going to start more fires now that I think about it, yeah. But he came over to film stuff with like Chad and I think he was doing stuff with Dolan and Colossal, and I think Nerd City was going to come as well, but he had to back out. So there was a bunch of guys coming over who he was going to collab with. And he was doing a meet and greet here in Melbourne, Australia. He posted a video where he did what all Americans do, where he said, I'm here in Melbourne. He really leans into the Oran part of Melbourne. We don't say Melbourne. I know that's how it's spelled. Anyway, he came over. It was based Red Pill, whatever. I'm in a group chat with the Colossal is Crazy. It's also the same group chat that I met Doplex TV in. Doplex TV from YouTube.
Oh my god.
Can you send me that? Anyway, he was talking. Colossal was talking about how he was coming over here to hang out with Keem and stuff, and I was just like in the group chat, and I was like, "Oh, cool, you're coming to Melbourne? Yeah, there's some really cool places here. You'll like it." And he was like, "Oh, do you live here?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Do you want to get a drink sometime?" And I was like, "Yeah, okay." Literally the only connection we had was that group chat. He didn't know my content or anything. I think I had like 900 subs at the time. So Clown is just like the nicest dude ever. I think anyone who knows him will tell you that. He can be an elusive little sucker, but he's a great guy. And yeah, he invited me, just some little fucking no-name 900 sub YouTuber out just for the meme, I suppose, or for the just to say hi. And yeah, we linked up at Keem's meet and greet at a local bar here, a local gaming bar called GG Easy. Love it there. It was probably the most baller moment of my life because there was this fucking massive crowd of like 12-year-olds around the corner, all lining up to see Killer Keemstar. And Clown came out and like rescued me from the back of the line. He's like, "Oh, just message me when you get here." And I was just chilling at the back, and it was like starting to rain and shit as well. And he just comes out and he's like, "Kudos." I was like, "Yeah." And he walks me in and he like goes up to the bouncer. He's like, "He's with me." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm with him."
Wait, did he call you Kudos or James?
I actually can't remember. I know we introduced each other. We introduced ourselves to each other with our proper names. Our real names, I should say. But I think he might have just, anyway, it doesn't matter.
Well, it'd be kind of weird if you like. It'd be weird to use YouTuber names in real life. Like I wouldn't like if I go over to Amir's house, I'm not going to say, "Hey, Doplex." Like that'd be kind of weird.
I probably would out of like just forgetting because I feel like I jump between Doplex and Amir.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say I'd probably refer to James as Kudos just because it's like force of habit.
Also, because we have James Miller isn't a coward like me and actually has his real name, so he's kind of the default James, even though I'm older than him.
Right.
So yeah, I feel like I'd probably have to, but I'm used to that. When I was in school, there were 3 kids named James in my class, so we were all just. I'm used to not being called James because it's just never been like the easy thing to call me.
What would they call you?
Oh, actually, they just called me James and then the first letter of my last name. So, and that's what we did for all 3 of us. Not very creative in school. Anyway,
continue.
So yeah, I got rescued from the back of the line. I had a bunch of free drinks. I felt really bad, but actually, I've never told anyone this story. There was like a bunch of people, just all these YouTubers there in this like VIP area that I got taken into, which was like cool as well. And it was just free drinks. So I was like, sweet, got a rum on the rocks, and I put it up on like this kind of ledge. It was a bit precarious, but it was fine. And then I think I like walked away and talked to someone else for a bit, and then another guy there who was like, I think he was kind of a smaller YouTuber or something as well. I don't really know how he knew the guys, but he was there, and he like sat down, he knocked my drink over, and everyone got kind of mad at him. But I feel really bad because it was my fault the drink was there. Again, it wasn't like in a precarious place, but it was still, this dude knocked it over and caught shit for something I did. Anyway, sorry to him.
I'm both like really interested in this story and also like feeling like this is the biggest tease ever. Like you haven't even gotten close to the actual like.
I know we're skipping it. Well, that was the thing because now it skips here. We went back to his mansion. Thing, his Airbnb mansion. By the way, on the way, we're waiting outside for the Uber, and I mean, shout out to this kid, but some kid who I guess was at the meet and greet came up and asked if he could come with us. Like he went up to Keemstar and he's like, hey, he must have been like 17 or 16, maybe even. I don't know. He looked young, obviously Keemstar fan, but he was like, hey man, can I come to the thing with you? And like, I mean, to his credit, Keem was just like, hey, like, sorry man, I don't really know you. This is just like a private thing. Like, he let him down gently. And the kid was like, yeah, that's all good, man, thanks, and just walked away. But I just remember being like, shout out to that kid though. That kid's got some fucking balls on him. I could never do that. So we drove over to his place, and it was in this part of Melbourne, which I'd never been to before, which is just every house on the street is a mansion. It's crazy. I've never been somewhere like that. Like in New Zealand, the mansions on the rich parts of the street, it'd be like a big house and then just a bunch of kind of normal nice houses. But this was like mansion, like one after the other. And I was like, oh, I don't belong here. But then we went to this place, got really drunk. He was drinking Coronas, which was kind of prophetic, I suppose. That was all they had.
Yeah. Part of his plan.
Yeah, exactly. Keem did it.
Can I just say real quick, isn't it kind of funny and like kind of fitting that Keemstar would get a mansion Airbnb and not just like a regular Airbnb? Like it has to be a mansion.
It has to be a flex. There was like a bunch of people staying with him, and then I guess on top of that it was the flex because he was able to like film himself doing shit in it. But
right, of course.
Yeah, that place was like, again, crazy. It felt like, the way I described it is, it was like the houses you buy in GTA. Like it felt like the apartments, like these really kind of classy, like expensive places, but you can't actually imagine anyone living there. Like it seems like the sort of thing,
like furnished.
Yeah, like it just seems like something you have in like a real estate photograph, like selling.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah.
What was the name of the black guy in Grand Theft Auto 5?
Franklin.
Oh, Franklin. Oh, yeah, like Franklin's place.
Franklin.
Yeah, it was like Franklin's place.
Yeah, his baller mansion. I kind of I was like so jealous that like my character got that house in the game.
Yeah,
I was like, I want this house.
But it was like that. You can't really imagine anyone truly living there. It just seems like somewhere that like gets rented out for a couple of days at a time or photographed for real estate purposes or something. It's like miscellaneous art on the wall that's probably expensive, but you're not really sure why. That sort of shit.
Yeah.
But it was like, really nice in there. It was like a really good time. And I just got really blasted. It was a Sunday night and I'd work the next day, which was very smart on my part. But I was like, when else am I going to get this opportunity? the pant. Okay, so I didn't get fully naked. I just got pantsless. Which is arguably better. And it was for, okay, here's what happened. We'd all been drinking a lot. People would start getting in the pool. There was a pool. But like the people who were getting in it were like people who were staying there the night. So they had like changed their clothes and like togs and shit. And towels. But I was like, well, obviously I won't get in fully, but I'll just like sit on the edge of the pool and just like hang out and chat with people. Right. Like in the jacuzzi kind of area, I guess. But I was wearing long.
So you took your pants off?
It was, yeah, exactly. I was wearing long pants. I'm like, well, I can't just, if I was wearing shorts, I would have just like sit on the edge, but I was like, well, I can't roll these pants up. So I'll just take them off and just sit on the edge, like, of the pool in my underwear. Fucking who cares? We're all drunk and like people already like doing the same shit in the pool anyway.
Right.
Yeah. But I sat on the edge of the pool and then I got up and my like ass was wet from sitting on the edge of the pool, obviously, because I didn't think about that. And then there were no towels left. And I was like, well, I don't want to get my pants wet. I guess I'm just going to rock this for a while. And to be fair, like half the people at this point were just like in their togs or like bathing suits or whatever, because like a lot of people got in the pool. So it wasn't like,
what's a tog?
Oh, like swim trunks.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, so everyone was in their swim gear pretty much. Like not half, maybe like a third. There was like a lot of people still just dressed normally, didn't get in the pool, but a lot of people did, so it wasn't completely out of. I wasn't just the fucking weirdo. Well, I was, but I wasn't 100% the weirdo walking around naked. Yeah, and I just waddled around for a while till my pants dried off, and then put them back on. Asked Keemstar for a photo while I had no pants on. He didn't say yes for some reason. He wasn't happy. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't know, I got some fun photos of people. It was cool.
Keemstar seems like the kind of guy who would just be unhappy just randomly at random times. Like, he seems like the kind of guy who goes through a lot of moods.
Oh, 100%.
But yeah, then I just went home. They offered me to stay there the night, but I was like, nah, I got work to do tomorrow, and I somehow Ubered home. It took me like an hour and a half. And
wait, were you pantsless in the Uber?
No, I had my pants. I was only pantsless for probably like an hour.
Oh, okay.
While I waited for my shit to dry off. And I just owned it. Here's the bad thing though, and I didn't realize this till I like checked the photos the next day. Like I said, my ass was wet from sitting on the edge of the pool, which is why I didn't put my pants back on. But I didn't realize how far forward the liquid came from the pool, and it fully looked like I pissed myself.
Nice.
You know what? I'd do it again. It was a fun night. It was a good meme.
Yeah.
So you can say yes or no to this, by the way, but would you be willing to provide one of those pictures for the render?
No. That's
all right.
That's exclusive content.
Exclusive
content.
Speaking of which, patreon.com/T1 podcast if you want to get bonus episodes of the show, early listening privileges, a patron-only chat, a kiss from Doplex, platonic only, and more.
Be sure to head over to t1.pod.cast.pod.
That's the link.
Soldier Boy.
Soldier Boy, tell him.
You. So anyway, that's the story.
So
wait, hold on.
I feel like
that's my story of meeting. The first time, kind of glimpsing into maybe what the future might hold. As my career as a YouTuber. What about you guys? Any good interesting stories from big YouTubers you've met or parties you've been to, etc.?
I started really getting socially connected to YouTubers basically right when coronavirus started. So like, yeah. I haven't I've met a few of them, but it's been very few. Just because like you can't.
I've been saying the same thing to Dopex. I was like, because I've never really made friends online. I don't know why. I just like have struggled to. I've always just been like, really close to my friends in real life. And I'm like, why the fuck did I finally somehow managed to break through that like inability to make friends online and make like a whole bunch of really good ones the year I cannot meet them. Like I was saying to Dopex the other day, I was like, shit, if coronavirus wasn't a thing, I'd fly out to the States like next month. Like I can. I'm in a position to. But the powers that be will not allow it. So next year's better.
Yeah, I'm thinking like September. Maybe I might like start actually trying to meet up with people from the content creator sphere, but probably not.
You guys are pretty aggressively on the old vaccine train. Let's not talk about that. That's boring dumb shit that no one cares about. So
Yeah.
fancy people you've met, people with big hats.
Fancy people. People with big hats, big pockets with a lot of
loose
change in them.
A lot of 25-cent pieces rolling around. Like,
and a cane.
You ever slow down? Have you ever slowed down a Logan Paul video, a J Paul video? They've both got massive, like, bulging pockets of quarters in their
right, just quarters,
and they're 3/4
signify wealth.
Yeah, yeah, and they're wait, what are they called? 3/4 wait,
the 3-piece suits.
No, what are 3/4 G? The pants, cargo shorts. They've got massive. They got cargo shorts with many pockets, and each one has hundreds of quarters in it, and it's sagging them down. They spend a lot of money on belts, but it's a real show
I was
of
imagining
wealth.
one of those jazz suits.
The jazz suit.
By the way, guys, speaking of cash, I actually had an idea.
Okay,
and this is I want to like mentally workshop this here. Okay,
yeah.
So one of the biggest problems I see in kind of like people's everyday life, other than the inability to speak well or spell well, is their inability to do math very well. And my idea to counter this is a $7 bill.
Okay.
Because it would keep everyone's brain sharp. Because like not throughout the day, but maybe a couple times a week, you'd encounter this and you'd have to like very carefully like think in your brain. It keep your math wheels going.
Right.
I can see that.
So what do you guys think of this?
Okay.
For some reason,
$7 bill.
the number 7 reminds me of Thursdays for some reason. I'm not entirely sure why. I feel like that might have been a tweet I read, but I don't know.
Maybe.
I just have that real. It just gives me Thursday energy. Anyway, yeah, I think that would work. 7 sucks to calculate. Also, if everyone played Magic the Gathering, that'd be good because it's a lot of calculations between 1 to 20 of all varying types. I feel like I learned a lot about math through that.
Do you think it would work, or do you think it would just piss people off?
Do people wait in the States? Do people still use cash? Because I can't remember the last time I've carried cash on me. It's probably been 4 or 5 years.
It's not as common anymore.
Yeah, everyone uses
still
PayWave
there though.
The only people who use cash here are like parents. Like your mum always just has like $50 in cash on her for some reason. We never see her use it.
Well, parents are a lot of people though.
That's true, but we're also a lot of people.
Yeah, I've had a piggy bank for like the last 4 years, and like
What
I
shape
haven't
is it?
opened it. It's just like a pig.
Okay, I figured because it was you, it would be like a cool little like arcade or like an N64 cartridge or something. But no, it's just a pig.
I don't remember when I got it, but like there's cash in there. But the thing is, I never find myself needing cash, so I've just never opened it.
Sure,
it is kind of weird that like people still do use cash. I haven't used cash in like 10 years at this point.
Yeah, no, it's been ages for me. I just use FPOS for everything.
Yeah.
Just pay, especially over here. PayWave is like in every single store, even like food
What's
trucks.
PayWave?
That's that shit where you like press your card and it just like you don't even have to insert it or type your numbers in.
Oh, you mean like tap pay? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's
Like
called PayWave here. Yeah. Yeah, we just tap it. That shit's amazing because in New Zealand it's like in 50% of places, but here it's everywhere to the point where like the occasional purchase that's over $80 or whatever the limit is, I have to really struggle to remember my PIN code because I never have to put it in anymore.
Yeah.
That's great. We barely have that here.
Oh, really?
What? No, we have a ton of tap places. Are you kidding me?
I've never used that. Like I've never seen a place that offered that.
I think I use it at least once a week.
That's crazy. I always put my card in because like I mean I see the little thing for it, but I'm like I don't want to set this up.
To be fair, I live in a fairly rich area, so I mean, it might just be like kind of like a luxury thing, I guess.
Lars, don't we live in the same area? Because I can tell you this area is not rich.
Oh, well, I mean, we live in the same area if you want to call Orange County the same area, but there's a very diverse set of places there.
Yeah, I guess. My area sucks.
Like the TV show?
Yeah, like the TV show.
Do you guys ever hear that playing when you're outside? Does it just like boom over the like speakers on every street?
They want to let everybody know it's like the TV show.
Yeah, when you go to City Hall, that's just kind of playing on a loop.
Yeah.
So, it's a good song. You probably won't get sick of it.
Anyway, what were we talking about?
$7 bills.
Oh yeah, YouTubers.
We were talking about the $7 bill.
Oh wait, no, hold on. Dumpix never told his YouTuber story.
Oh, do you have one?
I was more fixated on just imagining every famous YouTuber walking around in 3-piece suits and just a bunch of loose change. That's so funny to me.
It's real though.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I went to, well, I didn't go to VidCon, but like pretty much all the YouTubers I know did. And, you know, me living here, I didn't actually have to go and I could just attend, you know, the parties and whatnot. And, yeah, I went to like an after party, like a VidCon after party. And there was like a bunch of like just YouTubers I've been watching for years there. Like, Chris Raygun, Justin Wang, Wavy Websurf, Nerd City was there. It was just the coolest and most like surreal experience. Cause like me, I'm like, you know, this tiny YouTuber with a tiny penis. I'm like, oh my God, I'm surrounded by people I like.
Real quick, by the way, I just, real quick, you can continue if you want, but after this, but I really appreciate how far I've come with Wang because, okay, way back in the day when we were a little podunk podcast, we asked him to come on. He said he didn't want to. And as of a couple days ago, he followed me on Twitter. So I guess his opinion of me has improved.
I think he got added to a group chat we're in. I think he followed everyone in that, which is how I first got followed by him because I got added into the Doplex and Colossal group chat. And
I'm not in there. Boo.
You don't want to be in there. I don't think anyone's talked to that one in like 3 weeks.
Yeah, I left that one months ago.
Oh yeah, that too. Anyway, let's not talk about fucking group chats no one else knows about.
I know, yeah. So, honestly, I feel like all of this is kind of cringe. Like just saying, like, yeah, we know people. Yeah, we're kind of friends with these people.
Well, I mean, it's true.
Yeah,
and
but
I feel
that's like I don't know. Nobody wants to listen to that. I wouldn't want to listen to this.
I don't know. I feel like sometimes minutia can be interesting. I mean, it depends on what it is. I don't know. I feel like some people who've been listening to the podcast this long probably are curious about like insights into our lives and stuff.
I'm interested in hearing more about Doplex's story because I feel like Doplex is just very relatable because that's how I feel as well when I meet people. Which again, I haven't done a lot, but just that feeling of like I'm still small and these people are not, but yet I am here.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like that day was just like one big surreal experience. Like the day started, I was hanging out with The Right Opinion. We were playing ping pong, and he's very good at ping pong, which I thought was really funny. And I met Brain and a Cat. Is a great dude.
Every YouTuber has to have like one skill. Like you always find out like, oh, this YouTuber is secretly like an amazing chess player, or they're just like super, like they've been playing some online game for the last like 15 years. And they're like,
well, I don't think that's like exclusive to YouTubers. I just think that that's just because people have hobbies though.
No, I know, but like, well, because YouTube's also kind of a hobby. So you kind of imagine like that's their thing. And then you find out like, they're also good at this other thing as well. It's, I don't know. People are multifaceted. I know, what a revelation. But yeah, it is always funny when you're like, oh, not only are they a really good, successful YouTuber, they're also amazing at ping pong. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
What a weird.
Right. Yeah, that was my thought. I was like, oh, wow, that's like a weird thing to be really good at. But so yeah, exactly. I thought that was funny.
He's hustling ping pong at local bars.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, that was cool.
Being in Melbourne's definitely a big game changer as well. Like if I stayed in New Zealand, there's just nothing happening in New Zealand ever.
Well, aren't there like 6 New Zealand YouTubers?
There's really
something?
big,
it can't be many.
There's really good ones. I think there's a lot more than you'd think, but still. Oh, okay. Well, also they're all up in Auckland, and I fucking hate Auckland. So I don't want to be there.
Auckland.
Whereas like Melbourne's like my favorite city, one of my favorite cities in New Zealand, but bigger, and every YouTuber in Australia's here pretty much. So it's definitely a vibe.
Right. Kudos. Do you know Guy Williams, by the way?
I don't know Guy Williams, but I know of him.
Okay. Because I kind of want him for the podcast, and I thought maybe like you guys all know each other or something.
He's on like national TV. He's like a celebrity. Lars, do you know Ryan Seacrest? Isn't he one of your guys?
Yeah, Lars. Do you know fucking Donald Trump? Because you're American.
Yeah, Donald Trump.
Oh, I would love to have Donald Trump on the podcast.
I'd love to have Donald.
I feel like that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I know it would piss people off, but it'd be so much fun to record. And I wouldn't be nice to him. Like, I'd be a dick.
I'd be nice to him.
I'd be nice
great.
to him. He was the president.
I'd be nice to him.
I'd be like, we'd do that shit. Remember the other week where we had the guest on and then you just immediately started talking about some other topic unrelated to them? We'd just do that. We'd just like launch into like, so anyway, here's Donald Trump. So what do you guys think about if we had a $7 bill? That'd be weird. Just completely
that'd be great.
Maybe he'd find that refreshing. He's probably so used to everyone like
not even talk about his presidency at all. Like just
get his opinion on random topics.
Dude. Yeah. So, Mr. Trump, tell us, what are your thoughts on porn star branded fleshlights that have been making the rounds lately?
Mr. Trump, would you like this $19 Fortnite card?
Mr. Trump, have you noticed that Mr. Trump, have you noticed that Fortnite Ninja's YouTube presence has really been kind of falling off lately? What do you have to say about that?
And he has like a lot to say about all these stuff. Well, yes, I've noticed. I can't do a Trump impression.
That was the worst Trump impression I've ever heard.
Yeah, I've totally noticed.
That's so bad.
It's me, I'm Trump.
He's pretty good at bullshitting though, so he'd probably just start saying stuff about the topic and just hope it's like it hits.
It's like I know the ninja. I know all the ninjas. He'd use this like really over the top exaggeration that he always does. I could see it.
Yeah. Anyway, let's not talk about Donald Trump. Let's talk about $19
Fortnite card.
Who desires it? Do you reckon there's any youth pastors who have been like done an edit of that where it's the snake talking to Eve? Like, apple of knowledge. Who wants it?
Who wants it?
Oh, have you guys seen that video of that one pastor that like was talking to a kid and the kid refused to accept the Lord, so he like punched him in the face?
Are you serious?
And I walked over to him and I went, bam! I punched him in the chest as hard as I crumpled the kid. I just crumpled him.
Sorry.
Well, it's like, it's him telling that story, like that he did that once.
Yeah, no, he punched him in the chest.
Yeah.
I slugged him so hard. Like just his verbiage of it was like it was so innocent.
I killed him.
I have seen that.
The idea of the youth pastor to me is fascinating. I've only met one because I never went to church, but I went to like a youth group thing one time just because my friends were going and I wanted to hang out with them. I just the concept of actually, I don't think I've told this story before. I went to a youth what did I just say? A youth club thing that was run by the church in my town. It was weird because no one I knew went to church, but everyone went to this youth club thing. I guess I was in the country, so I guess we were just kind of like didn't have a lot of things to do, and this was like, oh, we're doing sleepovers and movie nights and shit, come on over. And it was like a big sleepover movie night thing and like some hall, and we watched Happy Feet. And then at the end of it, the guy was like trying to relate Happy Feet's like journey to Jesus. And I found out later watching, I think Your Movie Sucks did a video about how much anti-religious symbolism there is in Happy Feet. Like it's a very non-religious movie. Like they constantly make fun of like prophets and deities and, you know, like people who blindly worship and shit. And I just was like, man, that's such a funny movie. And like in retrospect to choose to try and shoehorn that message in.
Right.
I remember when I was a kid, my dad's a pastor. So I mean, like I'm very intimately familiar with how the church works and everything. And so what?
You said just never mind. Don't worry.
Ravioli?
Your dad's a pastor.
Okay.
It was really cool though, because back in the day, because like they had something called the teen lounge, which was like it was like the youth pastors like hangout area. It was like a rec room, and like
ignore the cameras.
I wasn't a teenager yet, but since my dad was a pastor, like I could kind of they were kind of like let me in because like they didn't want to like piss him off. Right. And it was like really great because back in the day, I didn't have any video game systems, but they had an N64 there with NFL Blitz and a bunch of other games. So that was like a lot of fun. Unfortunately, that was like the main reason I went. It wasn't for like religious purposes. I just wanted to play NFL Blitz. So
You know what? I remember. God, there's all these things looking back on it. Again, no one I really knew grew up religious, but I remember there was a thing in school at lunchtime. You could go to. This sounds so fucking dodgy now that I think about it. Like next to my school, there's like a church. Like next to my like primary, intermediate school, whatever you guys call those.
Yeah.
There was a church, and at lunchtime, sometimes they do this thing called Adventure Time, which is like, this is like 10 years before the TV show Adventure Time even existed, but they called it Adventure Time. And, you know, during class, the teacher would be like, oh, by the way, there's Adventure Time over at the church today if anyone wants to go. And you go over there, and it's so snaky looking back on it, but like you would, the teacher, I guess like, I don't know. I don't know if they were like a priest or whatever they were, but you'd like, sometimes they'd play games, but usually they'd just tell like a story from the Bible. But the only reason any kid went is because they gave everyone one piece of candy at the end of it. Like, not even a good one.
So that was
like,
the incentive.
Like what? Just like a piece, like a gummy, you know, like from a party bag or whatever. Like
one gummy bear.
One gummy.
Not a small gummy bear. Like it would be like, I don't know, like a decent sized piece of candy, but still just like, you know, not like a fancy whatever. But kids would literally spend their entire like half an hour more or more lunchtime at this thing just so they could get one sweet. And no one paid it. I cannot remember a single story they told us. And you'd be so fucking bored because you're just sitting on like this concrete steps while this like woman tells you this like very boring story. You're like 6 and you just want a piece of candy. But man, that's kind of weird looking back on it. They probably just took kids off school grounds just so they could preach to them. And the school was like, this is fine.
Anyway, I want to talk about something. Have you guys heard of Cocaine Bear?
I've heard of
Cocaine Bear.
I've heard of those two things separately.
Yeah, same.
You've heard of bears. Okay. So apparently there was like a bear at some point who got into some cocaine that like fell off of like a smuggling plane. I'm not exactly sure how he got into it, but apparently he did. And he ate like 70 pounds of it and just like went ape shit. I guess bear shit in this case. And so it was just a funny story. But now apparently they're making a movie out of it with Elizabeth Banks as the bear, I think. What? I could be wrong.
I was going to make a joke that someone's playing the bear. Like Jack Black is the bear, but then it's just real. That's awesome.
I'm looking it up right now just to check.
It sounds like one of those real
no. I think she's just producing it.
Oh, Jack Black might be the bear then. It sounds like one of those movies like Hobo with a Shotgun. Like, what are those called? It's like Grindhouse movies. I don't know what they're called, but it sounds like it'd be one of those really stupid, crazy, over the top, like super gory
like an exploitation
ones.
film.
Yeah.
I feel like that'd be cool though.
Yeah, that'd be funny. Just
I'm like Jack
excited.
It'd be like Speed. Or no, is it Speed? No, Crank. Yeah, Crank with Jason Statham. It'd be like that, but with a bear.
I would literally pay $100 for a ticket if they went with Jack Black as the bear. Like just to see him like crawling around.
He's already played one bear, so he's got the resume.
Yeah.
A panda bear is actually bears.
Games.
What?
A panda bear is actually bears.
Jablinski bears.
No.
They're not?
Wait, yeah, of course they are.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've read pandas bears.
Wait, aren't they marsupials?
I thought marsupials were like possums.
What?
Well, that is correct. They are.
I feel like we've been wrong about a very many things on this episode.
That's fine. Someone will correct us in post.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's okay. We'll wait for the corrections.
Yes, yeah. Okay, in chat, Jack played a guy in Cocaine on Tropic Thunder. He had a cocaine addiction in that, and he's played a bear. So he's technically played these two characters separate. Now he just has to bring them together.
Yeah.
Oh, koalas are marsupials.
Oh, thank you, TJ.
Oh, yeah, koalas.
Okay,
actually,
they're not koala bears.
Actually, I think like there's some weird stat like 99% of all marsupials are in Australia because like kangaroos, koalas, like just a ton of like native animals here are marsupials. I think there's only a few species outside of Australia that are marsupials. I don't know how that works, but
yeah.
On kind of a related note, I'm thinking about it right now, and I'm realizing that one of my least favorite things when I'm listening to a podcast is knowing that the hosts are completely wrong about something. I'm just like, oh!
You know what? Okay, not to. You know how like the meme about fake news? I know that's like a meme, but there is obviously like instances of that being true. The first time I ever realized that,
Like just fake news in general?
you just phased the gym, but I think the first time I ever noticed that was real was, do you ever watch the news as a kid and there's a segment on video games and they just get it completely fucking wrong and you're like,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
so into video games, so you're like, it's that one time you're actually be able to say to your parents like, no, that's like, I for once the kid knows more, you know, you'd be like, that's not real,
Yeah.
that's not what really happens.
But the parents don't believe the kids.
Oh.
Yes, that was the first time I was like, oh, the news can be wrong about things. I just thought it was always correct.
Yeah. It's also like, you know how in the movies, once they're playing video games, it's always like the noises are always still like bleep, bloop, bloop, bloop. And they're like, they're playing their control, basically playing it with their foot. Like they're not using it properly at all. And they're just like, double kill. I'm going to get the high score.
Yeah.
And it's like,
They're playing GTA.
even in
and
2021,
they're playing GTA
Yeah.
for points. It's like points still. It's like, what game has had points in it in like 20 years?
it's really weird that they pretend that we're in the 80s. Like they think that we won't know
Yeah.
that like modern realistic video games, if they showed like just like Halo from today, that we wouldn't get it, that they're playing a game.
It's this new thing called Nintendo. All the kids are killing their classmates.
There's a thing, a scene or two in Breaking Bad where they're playing, I think it's like, I won't spoil it, but anyway, there's video games in it.
Mhm.
And it's just weird because like Breaking Bad's otherwise like such a well-researched show. Like even little things where like you didn't need to put that effort into it, Vince.
Yeah.
They obviously did. But then just for the video game parts,
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
they just phone it in. Like I can't remember what it is exactly, but they're like playing on the wrong console and they're holding the controls all
Yeah.
wrong and shit. And it's just like, I don't know, it's just weird.
They're using two different controllers from different systems.
Yeah, it's just
while
weird
they're
for,
playing,
like-
Sonic Racers.
Yeah. And it's like every other part of that show is like perfectly like researched and shit for the most part. And then they're just like, oh no, it just stands out
Yeah.
in an otherwise well-made
Yeah.
show.
Exactly.
Just a little aside, I do like that the chat is not interested in what we're talking about. They're on their own tangent right now about red pandas and stuff.
Oh,
That's great.
That's fine.
I read panda-pilled people.
Discord.t1podcast.com if you want to tune in these episodes live and talk about stuff other than what we're talking about in the chat.
Do not join if you're looking for the Among Us channel, though. The famous Among Us channel used daily by fellow First Podcast Discord members has been axed. You can no longer find it. However, there is a small crewmate still in the recording chat, so it lives on in our hearts and minds.
I want to give credit where credit is due, by the way. Do you guys watch House of Cards back in the day?
No.
No, I didn't. No, I always thought Kevin Spacey was a bit sus. I thought someone should vote him off. I saw him vent.
He was a little
He
sus.
vents in episode 1, and I was like, nah. So I stopped watching it, but no, I never did.
Yeah, the guy turned out to be a total creep, but his acting skills are great. It's a really good show. And one of the things I really liked about it is that they got gaming right. Like he has a PS3 and he has a PlayStation Vita, but he calls it a PS Vita because like you wouldn't just say PlayStation Vita in casual conversation necessarily. You'd call it a PS Vita.
The Sony PlayStation Vita.
Yeah, the game that he's playing on the screen matches like he's actually like he's literally playing the game for the scene. So like it makes sense. I wanted to applaud them for that, for like just doing the basic diligence for that kind of stuff.
Well, they'll do stuff where they'll be playing a game. Like Tej just mentioned in chat that there's a scene where Jesse plays Rage. That's not really a spoiler. So sorry if you're mad at me. You're excited to find out what games Jesse plays throughout the show.
We get a single downvote on the new episode.
God damn it! I haven't got to the Rage bit yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, from memory, I could be wrong on this, but I know I've Steven seen this and other things. I think he's playing Rage, but I think there's like no UI. Like it looks like it's from like a trailer or something, you know? Like they're just yeah.
What it is, I've never played Rage, so I don't even know if this is true, but I'm pretty sure there's no like, and I could be totally wrong, but I remember seeing that like, because he's playing with like a gun controller.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, they're playing with like a light gun, like it's fucking Duck Hunt.
But but I'm pretty sure I don't think there's like light gun in Rage. I'm pretty sure it's just like a PS3 game, right?
I can't think of any games that have had light gun until like VR.
Right, or Wii.
That's the thing, there's probably some Wii games that they like, I get what they were trying to do in that scene. Like they wanted to show him shooting a gun.
Right.
Like that's all like thing I can say without spoiling it. Like they wanted to just have him shooting a gun, but they just couldn't find any game that actually had that. But there must have been some, even just like, I don't know. some
They
arcade
could
or
have gotten a
something.
Wii.
I'm surprised that genre is not more popular. I feel like a lot of guys, especially, would be into games where the controller is a gun and you point it at the screen.
Well, that's
I
just
actually-
VR. We have that now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that.
Oh yeah, I
have
guess so.
that.
Yeah.
Boneworks.
Yeah.
Play it.
That was like when I played VR, any of those games where there's like semi-realistic guns just makes you go like, oh. Like there's even there's one called Out of Ammo. It's not realistic at all. It's like a cartoony game with like big cartoony graphics, but you actually have to like unload the gun and like, you know, in some cases like reload or like you pull back the bolt or whatever. Sorry, I don't use a lot of guns, so sorry my vernacular's off. But like it just feels, you know, when you first try VR for the first time, you're just like, I actually have to put the bullet in to the chamber. I have to actually like load the magazine in, and you can do cool shit where you like, because you just pull infinite magazines out of your ass. You just put your hand behind your back. You can do cool shit where you like line them all up on the sandbag in front of you, just like empty your clip, pull the magazine out, then slam the whole gun down onto it, and so you've just kind of like you're like metagaming, reloading. It's kind of fun.
Yeah. That's kind of how Boneworks is. It's very like tactile and realistic in that sense. And that shit's so cool.
You see cool shit where people like throw like a magazine into the air and then catch it in their gun, which like wouldn't work in real life.
Yeah.
But the game doesn't, like the game just checks if the two objects are colliding and they're like, yeah.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and like Boneworks, you could like line up the clips and like drop your gun on top of it, and they have like a slow motion button. So you could do it in slow-mo.
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
then it's just like literally it's Viagra for gamers.
I think that's just normal Viagra. That's Blue Chew actually.
Oh, I feel like I'm gonna get into VR once they start introducing stuff like tactile feedback and things like that.
You just
I
hire,
mean, that's kind
you
of
could
a thing.
hire some dude to just come punch you in the
They
gut.
have tactile feedback already?
Yeah, or you mean like with the vests where you like feel it? Or you mean just like
No, I mean,
in
like-
your
like with your-
controller?
Like you have like gloves and you put it like it makes it so you can like feel like a wall or something.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I mean, we're barely on finger control, so
Of course, yeah.
probably
But
what, you know.
I'm saying like I think VR is going to get really cool. It's cool as kind of like conceptually now, and some games are fun, but I feel like it's going to get really fucking cool when we can actually better simulate the situation. As
Right.
like right now, it's kind of mostly visual.
You can get those machines that
Yeah.
like jerk you off in time with what's happening on the screen. I think those
Yeah, that
those
is-
are for specific games though,
Yeah,
like Boneworks.
and for specific kinds of people,
yeah.
Yeah.
a different kind of
I like when you see
a
those.
different kind of working bone.
Isn't there that video where there's like some, let's say like some Japanese sex convention, and there's some dude just fucking absolutely going to town on one of those, and they're like, well, like he has to have his fucking Johnson away, but he's got the VR headset and he's just so into it. You can tell he's been like transported to another world, and like
Yeah, he's like lying down.
yeah, and he's like completely like
Shit's so
unaware of
funny.
like the like 500 people just walking past him. It's so
And filming
fun.
him.
Yeah, and he's just like so into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be me one day.
God, imagine being that guy.
He's a king. He's living his best life. He doesn't give a shit.
That's true.
The dream.
That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, can we do the purchase corner?
Lars's purchase code. What is he gonna get?
What did he get this week?
What did he find in a ditch?
What did he put in his ass?
Oh, we don't. That'll be a long segment.
Oh, we're doing the extended version of the theme song this time.
Yeah.
Okay. So my busted ass computer was 7 years old and it couldn't do 4K for shit. And so when I got my new computer, I realized, oh hey, I can upgrade from 1080p. So I did. So I got a 50-inch 4K TV
What the
and
fuck?
I use it as my monitor now. Yeah. And it's pretty fucking boss, dude. Like that's the only way I can put it. It's really
Gee,
if you haven't had a 4K computer, I'm sorry, if you haven't experienced 4K yet, it is pretty fucking, it is pretty cool.
you just use it for Twitter though, don't you?
Yeah, Twitter is like a whole new paradigm for me now. It's like, you know,
The thirst traps are in 4K. Whoa.
no, but it's like
No,
it's
dude,
really
it's-
cool. It's just
Yeah.
like
If
it's.
his
I
resolution's
didn't-
in 4K.
I
it
didn't
must
think it was
be.
going to be as cool as it was.
I'm definitely keen to get on it because I managed to snag a 3080 at the end of last year, but I'm still cranking on. I'm not on 1080. I'm like slightly above it. I'm on like
1440.
Yeah, I think I'm on that one. which is like good. But yeah, I'm pretty keen to give 4K a crank sometime.
Yeah.
4K is nice.
It's
nice.
I've been wanting to. Oh, it also has HDR, which is just really cool. I don't know if you guys have ever experienced that.
Yeah, I mean HDR is pretty standard on consoles.
I've got that on. Yeah, I had that on my TV in my lounge, and it is crisp.
Well, it's standard on the consoles, but you need a TV that has it though as well.
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
My living room TV has that. It's just I never really understood what that is though. It's just it makes things a little darker. I don't really understand what HDR is.
It just makes things look cooler. I don't know how to put it.
It's weird that when you go to like a place that sells TVs, an electronics store, I suppose, and you walk around, you just see like these hyper crisp images. They're playing like the demo. It's like some fish floating around in like coral reefs or some shit, and you're like
a waterfall. Damn.
Yeah, it's like, oh my god, I can see every pixel. It's so crisp, and you get it home and you just fucking
put on like
YouTube videos.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch Nick Cotto Avocado in 4K.
I'm gonna watch
question for the podcast.
Throw up in 4K. Yes.
So I'm just gonna go over my editing like studio, and I'm curious what your guys' setups are as well. So
yes,
I have my computer out in the garage.
Where it belongs.
Eventually, I'd like to not because there's a lot of reverb in here. But
sure,
basically,
a lot of reverb. You say?
Yeah, I'm in the garage.
Why are you in the garage? Did the wife kick you out or something?
Yeah, it's really heartbreaking. Anyway, so
that sounded real.
Yeah. No, I'll explain my living situation to you guys in private someday because it's pretty complex, but it'll make sense once I talk to you guys about it. I don't want to explain on there. Yeah, okay. So I have it set up so that I have now I have the 4K monitor or the TV. I just use that as a monitor because I realized you could do that a couple years, not a couple years ago, like 7 years ago. I realized, I don't have to buy this dinky little monitor. I can use a whole TV because they have HDMI now. And I also have a side monitor on the side. I don't know why I said that twice. And basically I have my main editing on the front screen. And then I have a couple things on the side. Like if I'm listening to a podcast or watching a YouTube thing while I'm working, I'll put that on the side. What do you guys have?
You go first, Doplex, you big bitch.
Okay.
Yeah, fuck you, Doplex. Go ahead.
So, pretty much I need a new desk, right? Because my monitors are like about to fall off because my dumbass was like, I really want 3 monitors, but I want one of them to be an ultra wide. So I have my ultra wide dead center and then I have 2 like regular sized monitors on the side. And like they're legit like hanging off my desk. Like,
wait, how is this practical in the first place though? Because isn't that like a very wide field of vision that you cannot possibly consume all at once?
Well, so I mean, as an editor, I need like a full timeline, right? Like I need to see my whole timeline. So like my ultra wide has my Premiere timeline, and then the one on the right has like my preview screen, and the one on the left has like my effects, and then like I don't know, my browser or whatever. And like it's been pretty nice. Like I have everything like readily available to me. I don't need to like, tab through different windows and shit.
Yeah.
It's pretty clutch. Kudos.
That's cool. Nice. I have 2 monitors, but I want to get a third. You're saying 4K sounds very enticing. I recently upgraded my whole setup, but I'm keen to get another monitor. Like, and I want to turn one of these ones sideways, so I've got like a vertical one for.
Nice.
Well, you should think I do coding, but I just want it for Twitter.
Yeah.
Or just, I mean, it's also good for like editing, like to just be able to have effects and that sort of shit.
Don't get it for Twitter, man, because Twitter's not a good website, buddy. Like I wouldn't want to like add to your Twitter consumption.
No, I just want it for shit like, well, the main reason I want is for like streaming and shit, like be able to have chat and or Discord or just that sort of shit on the side. Just be a bit easier. And worst case, I just rotate it back up to being horizontal again and use it for something else.
Whoa!
But I've found very much like your monitors, you always could use one more. Like you're always gonna find enough uses for them. Like when I first got 2 monitors, I was like, holy shit, I can do 2 things at once. What the fuck? I can have a game up on this screen and then like a walkthrough or whatever on the other screen, or not a walkthrough because I don't look up walkthroughs because I'm not a loser. But like I can have like Twitter or something on the other screen. And now it's like I've got 2 monitors. I'm like, and I could probably use a third one for something because I've always got like Premiere or something on one screen or Audition. I want to check the like waveforms so I'm not like stopping halfway through. And then I need to have Discord, and then I have the mind finds a way. You always find something to fill these screens.
I love how in every like movie that has a hacker, they always portray him as having like 7 monitors and typing on 4 keyboards at one, hacking into the mainframe and like enhance.
You ever see,
just like,
do you ever see people who do that shit though online? They've got like 2 computers side by side on like an extra long desk, and you're like, you're a fucking freak. What do you need 2 computers for?
I feel like I don't know if I've said this before, but I feel like freak is an underrated insult.
It is pretty good.
It's basically what you're saying is that someone is so ugly and deformed they need to be part of a freak show.
It's also one of those rare insults that's like simultaneously offensive, but no one's canceling you for saying it. Like it has sting, but no one's going to be like, you can't say freak because freak is associated with like there's no like disparaged group that is associated with freak. I guess perhaps maybe like the deformed. no one's out betting. No one's out betting for them for some reason.
They probably should. Like that's like the ultimate thing you can't change. So,
yeah, well, I think people aren't batting for them because people know better not to make fun of them. Like in like a a real like isn't like a racist for deformed people. You know, like nobody's like loud and proud about their hate of deformed people. Like there are like racists.
I'm surprised that there isn't.
Yeah, I mean, maybe like back in like the like the early 1900s, maybe. But I can't imagine like nowadays having like neo-Nazi-esque people that are just against people who look different than them in like a more physical sense, if that makes sense.
It's also very rare. Like I guess just with like modern medicine, it's very rare when you actually see someone who is genuinely like very deformed in a way. Like they've got like, I don't know. I can't really think of anything to describe, but this I'm saying you really don't see it that often. Like you don't see someone who's just got like half a torso or something, or like a hand growing out of their chest. These things don't happen that often anymore because we've managed to figure out how to mitigate most of it. So yeah,
there was a group. Okay, so it's pretty rare that I get freaked out by someone.
Oh, the Blue Man Group. They weren't actually blue. That was just paint.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't talking about the Blue Man Group. So there was. I was looking up. I was on one of those like just like Wikipedia binges where you go through 17 different pages and stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
I get that on Pornhub.
Yeah, I was curious about twins.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, and then I found. I feel really bad talking about this because it's completely out of their control. But I found out about Abby and Brittany Hensel.
Oh yeah, they're like attached at the head or something.
They're attached to the torso.
Yeah, but they're also like 2 separate people.
They got 2 separate boyfriends, don't they?
Yeah,
2 separate boyfriends. You have to specify. How perfect would it be if they found a guy who was exactly like them and they were like, well.
Yeah, they all get married together.
Perfect.
So here's the thing. It's like I can't control my impulse reaction to when if I were to see someone like this. I'm going to put it in the chat.
I'll put
a link to this in the audio. But just like if I saw someone who looked like this in person, I'd be like, wow! Like, holy shit, she has 2 heads.
It does look like if like a iPhone panoramic fucked up.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's also a situation where like the main situation in which I've experienced 2-headed things is in World of Warcraft.
Right.
With the ogres, the ogre mages.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, say the race. Yeah. Fucking ogres, the one race in WoW.
I don't know. I feel like if I met them in real life, I'd be like more interested just to like, because that's definitely something you don't see every day. Like
that must
to
be
see somebody
so weird, by the way. That must be like the weirdest thing ever.
Yeah, but I mean, like, obviously they can't control it. It's completely out of their control. And I mean, given how their proportions are, like, there's really no rectifying that, it looks like, unless they were both, like, just straight up cut right down the middle and they both had one arm and one leg.
Yeah.
Well, there is, because you can see, like, there's been like so many documentaries and stuff on them because they do share certain organs, and then I think they've each got like one heart maybe, but then they share like a stomach and things. Like it is fascinating how like what was duplicated and what wasn't.
Right. Yeah.
And then I guess also the fact that they just like grew through to adulthood like just more or less fine. It's
actually, yeah. Like
crazy.
if anything, it's kind of impressive. Like, because I feel like, the human body, just to like persevere through such like such a wicked like deformation and like just be able to like live life and be happy. Like that's kind of impressive. Like you got to give it to them. Like,
there's like it's crazy that somehow this didn't. I mean, I guess they are a rare exception. I'm sure most conjoined twins probably have a lot more hard times than they do, especially like historically. But it is still crazy. The human body can just kind of like work shit out. Like, okay, we've got 2 hearts. We can make that work.
Yeah, they're still like making a deal.
yeah.
I think we could do this.
1 stomach. Okay, just
all right.
But then how does both the esophaguses just line up? I don't know. Yeah, it is. And then like they've all got lungs and shit, and they can talk, and it's nuts.
Yeah.
If they both breathed in really hard, so many questions.
I know. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'd be more interested in just like asking them how they do it, how they live, because like, man, that shit must be kind of tough.
Yeah,
I'd imagine.
Also, okay, I'm gonna ask the question.
Okay.
Just because you might as well.
I think I know where you're going with this.
I know it's crass, but for the experience, would you?
No.
No.
I don't think I could.
I'm gay, Lars. I think we've already done this.
I don't know. I feel like it'd be like a story you could bust out at parties. Like, yeah, I had sex with a 2-headed girl.
I don't see women as stories, Lars. So yeah, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
What do you mean you don't see women as stories? Women are people. You have stories about.
Yeah, I don't see women as bar tricks.
You have stories about people in your life.
Check this out.
I think like Dopey said, I'd just be too fascinated. I don't even think I could. I'd just be like, so, like, how do you? It would just be nothing but battle, mate.
Tell me how you shit.
I think also they control. I seem to know a lot about this for some reason. I think Emily told me all about them. I think each of them control one half of their body.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Like one of them controls the right half, one of them controls the left. So it's like Octodad.
What the fuck? So how do they walk?
No, I imagine after like 20 years of it, you get used to it.
It's like co-op.
It's co-op?
Yeah, it's co-op. Like, the
game
the
co-op,
running game.
QUOP, the one that made Critical famous.
Oh, yeah. I thought you said co-op. Like, that was even funnier. Like,
well, that too.
They're playing the co-op campaign of life.
It is co-op mode for humans.
Yeah, it's split screen. They're just
and Heroes of the Storm, there's one hero, again, the ogre, one of the ogres from World of Warcraft, that 2 players control because he's got 2 heads. I always thought that was an interesting idea for like a League of Legends start, like a MOBA character. Like each character, the 2 players play the same one and they all control different parts of them.
I wonder if Abby and Brittany played that game, if they would gravitate towards that naturally.
If they're like, they're like fucking top tier, like number 1 in the world. That one character. Yeah, maybe. I guess you'd have to, they'd have like really good, I know, but they said they've only still got 2 arms. So you'd still need like, you need 2 keyboards and 2 mouse.
Because if there was literally 2 different sets of limbs, I feel that would actually kind of be cheating.
Yeah.
Because they'd have an unfair advantage over the other players who are only one person. I'm gonna be very careful when I edit this, by the way, just to make sure we don't come across as huge assholes towards
right. Well, I think that would just be you, Lars, because you're like, if I saw them, I'd be like, ew.
I didn't say ew. I said I would be very surprised. I'd be like, ah.
Yeah.
You added the you there.
Well, there was a scream.
You're telling me if like you weren't expecting it and a 2-headed person came out, you would just be like completely normal? Like, you wouldn't be surprised at all? You're just like, oh, that is a very normal thing to experience.
I'd be surprised, but I wouldn't be like verbally surprised. Like, I wouldn't be like, ah.
I don't know. I feel like in that situation you might be not because you're being a dick, just because it's so unusual that you'd be like, whoa, I didn't see that coming.
I mean, maybe, probably to myself.
There's parts of the world that are just like not safe to traverse, like, you know, gang-ridden areas, like parts that are like, you know, it's just there's parts of the world you probably shouldn't go, especially like say late at night. Do you reckon they could? Because everyone would just like, if someone did come out to like mug them or something, they'd just be like, "What the fuck?" And they're just like, they wouldn't even know what to do. They'd be like, "Okay, you can go."
That's true, actually. Yeah, maybe they're impervious to a lot of the world's more bleaker areas. Yeah, they're like going into like I don't know. What's the scariest part of South America that you've been to, Dopix? Was it Tijuana? What's the most cartel-ridden part of South America? They could just like rock through there, all good. I went to San Felipe once, and I legit thought I was going to die.
Oh, really?
I mean, just living in Mexico in general, like I've almost died plenty of times, but like that time was like probably the scariest, just from like an experience standpoint, you know, like an actual like a gang like surrounded me and my friend.
Oh shit! What happened?
Yeah. I guess I can tell the story. So I was vacationing in San Felipe, which is a gorgeous beach town. It was me and like some of my friends, and pretty much all you do in San Felipe is just go there. You get a hotel. You know, it's imagine like Miami, but like on a much smaller, like much smaller scale. So anyway, we left the hotel. It was like pretty late. We went to like the gas station just to go get like some snacks or whatever. And as we walked in, there was like two entrances to this liquor store, and there was this group of guys, and they all looked identical. Like they all looked exactly the same. They were all wearing white t-shirts. They all had like frosted tips and like a rat tail. Like they looked like a gang out of like a cartoon or something.
Their GTA NPC spawning glitched out.
Yeah, exactly.
The same model 5 times.
Yeah, and they all had like bloodshot eyes. It was like really freaky. But like I remember I finished paying and I turned around and I ran into this guy's like chest because he was like so close to me. I was like, oh shit. And he was like staring at me dead in the eyes. And then like these other guys like come out from behind him and they're surrounding us. And then we look at like the other entrance and then more of them are coming in and they're all like coming towards us. Like obviously we're American. So like they're going to do some shit. And luckily there was like in San Felipe, since it's a beach town, all the cops ride around on 4-wheelers. So luckily a cop pulled up and like basically scared them off and like escorted us back to our hotel. That was like easily like one of like the scariest fucking moments ever.
Jesus.
We're just like, yeah, we don't know what these guys are gonna do to us.
What do you reckon they would have done? Like you're in a store, right? Like they wouldn't have. Would they have done some shit in a store? Like really bad? Or
probably just based off like the cashier's response, where he just kind of like slowly backed up and walked like into the back room. They probably would have done some shit. Yeah, man,
fucking hell. I'm glad they didn't.
Yeah.
So what was it outside of that experience? What else made San Felipe a dicey place to be? Or was it just that one experience?
It was just that, because like it seems so nice outside of that. Like, you know, there's like during the day there's like people partying. It's like a good time, but I guess you're just not supposed to go out at night.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, man, that's scary. Well, I'm glad you didn't get hurt.
Thanks. I lived to tell the tale.
You've had a very lucky life.
I really have, honestly. Like just with the sheer amount of time, like especially living in Mexico and just like all the crazy shit and like living there during a time where I probably shouldn't have been living there and at an age where I probably shouldn't have been living there. Like I'm very lucky to be alive, especially just being a stupid kid.
Yeah. Like you could have so easily fallen into, I don't know, just the wrong place at the wrong time, or like someone
I could have been sex recruited.
Yeah. You could have become a gang member, Dopix.
Oh yeah, maybe I should have.
Maybe you could be their editor. You could edit their beheading videos.
Wow.
Well, someone has to.
What's up, YouTube?
What's up, Live Leak? It's your boy.
It's
back
your
at
boy.
it again with another banger.
Today we captured this American.
So you put die docs over it.
Wait, what?
You put die docs over.
Oh yeah. But it's like a sentimental moment.
They're like cutting his fingers off and like peeling his foreskin back and stuff.
That reminds me of the time that I asked James Miller if he was willing to do a video without using Dire Dire Ducks, and he just straight out refused. I find his admiration for that track very amusing. Yeah, it's good.
It's a good track to use.
Yeah. I know we've talked about it before, but I feel like that whole N64 era is just great for background music.
It's true.
Yeah. It is a banger. I think it's like the perfect blend of like nostalgia and
because we'll remember
solid music. And I guess also like the limitations of the hardware, like they could only make certain sound effects.
Right.
But they just happen to have like a really good like I don't even know. Wait, Doplex, you're an audio man. Well, sorry, you're a music man. I mean, what is that called where it's like the notes or the soundscape that they could use? What is that?
Oh, like I think it's not MIDI. That's not what it is. It's I know what you mean. Like just like that collection of sounds, like kind of like what Silva Gunner uses to like make different stuff.
Well, like you can very clearly tell a game.
Are you talking about Silva Gunner or Siva Gunner?
Wait, is there no L?
No, that's the troll. It's Siva Gunner. It's a capital I.
Oh.
Well, either way, you could really tell the difference between like a Game Boy game and like a Game Boy Advance game, for example, just because like the range of sounds that they were able to like pull from to make their soundtrack is different.
Right.
The same with the N64. I feel like there was definitely limitations to what they could use. It's got a very just cozy vibe.
The one downside of the Game Boy Advance, I feel like, is that they were able to start making a lot more sophisticated music, but it was always like really super compressed. Like the Metroid Fusion soundtrack is great, but it's so compressed. Like it sounds so like it
is very crispy.
Lo-fi. And I would love to listen to the like remastered version of that. That's actually like hi-fi, but I don't think we'll ever get that.
I think we will because actually. Super Mario World. Obviously the soundtrack is complete bangers, but like they recently got like the high fidelity ones, and it sounds like a completely different soundtrack.
Oh, really? I want to hear that now.
Yeah, like I almost podcast. Like I still I prefer it compressed because of how weird it sounds like, and it's like it's full range. Like it sounds so weird to me.
Mm-hmm. Oh. I wanted to bring something up to you guys because I think you're going to find this especially amusing.
Okay.
And I talked about it in the server at one point. I don't think you guys were here, but apparently...
Yeah, well, once the Among Us channel was deleted, I haven't really been around too much.
Is this Among Us?
Don't please laugh. That's all I needed.
Yes.
I'm gonna go hit this boat lick. What were you saying, Lars?
Okay, so someone apparently thinks that wasn't Mike Diva on his episode.
Oh, well, it wasn't. So
wait, what do you mean?
Great joke, James. Really
caught out.
It's amusing to me just because like of all the things to be suspicious of, like why would you think that that's not him?
Yeah,
I don't know. Did they provide evidence? Maybe we did get swindled. I don't know. Keep my options open here.
I mean, there's plenty of like reference material to hear Mike Diva's voice.
Yeah,
to know it's him.
Yeah.
To be fair, if anyone was to like upload a full soundscape of their voice to like some kind of AI software that could then generate more text, it would be Mike Diva. So theoretically,
that is true.
Theoretically, someone might have found that and then just said they were him and also hacked his Twitter account.
Yeah, they would have had to hack everything, like his email, his Twitter.
I'm just saying, don't rule it out, man. I never saw the emails.
YouTube because we were able to tag it.
Yeah,
I guess. I mean, it's possible in the way that like the flat Earth is possible. It's like it's not really worth. It's not really worth getting into.
Is it? I don't even know. Is flat Earth like physically possible? Because that being a fake Mike Diva is physically possible.
Well, yeah, I guess it is. Yeah,
like it is logistically possible. Unlikely, but possible.
The Earth is the shape of a gusher.
This is more like what's a good conspiracy theory?
I feel like if you were the kind of, how do I put this? Like if it would be a lot more work to hack his Twitter and his YouTube and his email and all that other stuff. than to just ask him to come on the podcast. Like you'd be adding a lot of layers.
Oh,
there.
so they think we did it, right? I see what you mean.
Yeah,
I like the idea that we just got swindled. Like someone just fully posed as him and like came on and then like pulled the wool over our eyes.
That makes me think it might be really funny for us to like do an episode with a quote unquote guest that's someone really famous, but it's a very obviously like bad parody of it. Like we would get someone who could do a really shitty Elon Musk impression and then just say, "Oh yeah, this is Elon Musk." I don't know. I think there could be some comedy in that.
Doplex just cuts up like 50 like words from like interviews with him and puts it all on a soundboard and just like strings
doesn't make sense.
There has to be like someone must have made a list of like the keywords you need to hold a conversation in English. Like there must be only like a certain number, like yes, no, like and, if, but, so on and so forth. Like just these kind of like conjunctions and then a few, I don't know.
Yeah, we would have to ask a lot of Boolean questions in this situation, but yeah,
but like just enough for it. And then like, you know, some Elon Musk specific ones like space, rocket, I don't know, Tesla,
Space.
yeah, Tesla, good. I like space.
Doge,
interesting. Elon Musk, what's your opinion on Israel?
Doge, Tesla, meme. Yes, Doge, Tesla, meme. Car, space.
Interesting.
Yes.
What do you think is like the most you'd pay for a Fortnite card, Elon Musk?
Doge, night, teen, Fortnite card. Yes.
we go out of the way to like cut together him saying Fortnite card. It's one of our 50. It's one of our 50 words. I don't know. So those Schmoyoho guys cut together Biden singing the Fortnite version of American Boy.
Your Xbox been playing Fortnite today. You can't take me but my loot.
So I mean, like anything's possible.
Yeah, that's true.
It sounds pretty good too. Like they did. It sounds like he's actually saying it.
Yeah, and I do appreciate the making the mouth move to make sense.
Yeah, that's some next level shit. And do you remember, like in the 90s and 2000s, for some reason they had nothing but pet movies where they were all pets,
right? Yeah,
and they had to somehow animate their mouths moving when they talked, and it like varied in quality. But usually, it just like really unnaturally, the jaw would just like go up and down.
Yeah, like they were just giving peanut butter.
No, not even that. Like it was done in post, obviously, because it just moves. It moves so like jerkily, like not how a dog's mouth moves at all. But they need to like match human speech.
Yeah. I'm so glad we're past the era of live action pet movies.
Oh god, I hated all of them. I don't know. Cats versus dogs. Those sucked.
Yeah.
Was Beverly Hills Chihuahua any good?
Yeah, Beverly Hills Chihuahua.
I never saw that one.
They haven't stopped. They've just moved to like direct to video or
that's pretty much dead.
Shitty streaming services and stuff.
Nobody cares about those.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying that I think that's where they move because they're they're probably mildly profitable for like just something to give your shitty kids to watch.
They're probably more. It's not even that. It's probably just like laundering money. It's probably like we'll just launder money through the studio. Just make a shit movie that goes direct to DVD.
I honestly think that's the case.
It's fascinating when you really think about how many things are just set up to launder money. Like, how many, like, you're like, what? How did this awful game get made? And like, who gave them like $20 million to build this? And like, no one's playing it. And it's like, they probably don't even give a shit. It's probably someone's running money through it. Actually, there's a casino that just opened in Sydney and it was like $1 billion or actually I can't even remember, maybe not $1 billion. No, it wouldn't have been $1 billion. That's too much. It was like it was a very fucking expensive casino anyway. Like it's, in like a high-rise building with super flash. I mean, it's a casino, right? It's a fucking expensive, flashy casino, and the company that owns it just got done for like being involved with international crime, like letting organized crime launder money through them, or just do general organized crimey things with the casino.
Right.
And as a result, I think the Australian government's like taken their license away, their gambling license. So essentially now they've got this like several $100 million building in like the center of Sydney they just can't use as a casino anymore. So they're just like having to fill it with, I don't know, fucking GameStop or something. It's so funny. It's like, God, you guys are fucking. On the other hand, it's a casino. I don't know what you expect. Like, they kind of go hand in hand with organized crime.
Exactly.
Yeah. Doplex, did you get your stimmy yet?
No, I did not.
Okay, mine's dropping on the 17th. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh,
not because I'm going to do anything with it. I'm just going to save it. But
you're going to look at it and smell it.
Yeah.
Daddy's going to give it a sniff.
Okay, so here's a thing, and this is like politics adjacent, but it struck me as one of the weirdest things.
Sorry, continue.
People.
It's okay. So I don't know, just for our international listeners, I'll explain. So when we got stimulus checks during the Trump administration, they were delayed because he insisted on like signing all of them. It was so bizarre. Like, it's weird
Mr.
to
Beast
think that
with
was
his t-shirts.
Yeah.
I'm going to put on some lipstick and kiss him.
Yeah. Like, it's weird that was ever a thing.
Yeah.
It is weird. It's weird that you've only just gotten another stimulus now.
Yeah. They've been pretty stingy with them here.
Stingulous. Mine runs out next month. So,
yeah.
But we're also not in a pandemic anymore, really. So, fair enough.
By the way, I was driving down the street the other day, and I saw a place that advertised itself as a bankruptcy and divorce lawyer. And I was thinking to myself, that must be a really fucking depressing job to have.
So like it's rock bottom.
All your life is handling people's just horrible problems, like dead marriages and money issues. Like all of your clients
they go hand in hand.
Yeah,
someone's got to do it.
I think that's true. I think the number one reason for divorce is money. I think that's like statistically the case.
Money?
Yeah, like finance
issues. It's like keys cut while you wait. You know, they're like, you're already here for divorce, so may as well, 1-2.
That actually, that's probably
like a Taco Bell KFC combo restaurant.
Do you reckon they kind of work it together? They're like, you go on because you're having money issues, and they're like, do you know if you got divorced, you'd actually be saving thousands of dollars a month?
And they weren't planning on it, but they're like,
no, they were fully content, and then they're like, well, actually, while you're here, it's coming over to this other counter.
Yeah, like maybe he started as a bankruptcy lawyer, but then he realized that like adding divorce to it would be beneficial to him.
Right.
And then he adds like child custody, like family lawyer as well. It's like the three-peat. He's all in one place. It's your one-stop shop.
But it's done like a candy bar at the checkout line. It's like, well, I wasn't planning on getting this, but
yeah, we can upgrade your package. Oh, actually, speaking of, I got swindled $200 on a plugin website the other day.
Really?
I went to buy a plugin, right? And it was $57 US, which is like pretty decent for what it was. And then it was like, they do that classic shit. Oh, it was like, it was like 40% off or something, down from like $100. And I was like, that's pretty good. And then they were like, oh, did you know you can add on a complete package with like 20 other packs as well for only $99, down from $2,000. I'm like, all right, that's a fucking lie. What kind of loser buys these packs for $2,000? But all right, I was like, but they were really vague about how they said it, and it was almost it made it sound like, oh, you were paying $57 if you upgrade to the $99 package, for $32 more, you get everything. And I was like, shit, well, that's $30 more for like 12 more packs, and they look really good. Why not? So I clicked yes, hoping it would take me to like a review screen where I could see whether or not that's the case. And it was just like, okay, great, that's all gone through and all your purchases are made. And I was like, wait, what?
Wow.
Like it doesn't even, it was literally just went from like, there was no review screen, there was no confirm at the end, it just fucking launches you into it.
I think you can report that, right?
No, I don't know. Well, you probably could report it, but like I looked through, because before I clicked yes, I did look through all the packs, and I was like, yeah, like I do want these. Like there's some of these I could really use in this next video, and a few others. So I was thinking like, oh, if I could get in contact with them and ask for a refund on that $99 pack, but it is stuff I actually would like to have, so I'm gonna hold on to it. But I was a bit like, you motherfuckers, this is how you get everyone, isn't it?
Yeah. Wait, did you get the pack though? Like, did you get
I got it.
Okay.
I thought I did get it.
I thought you were gonna say they just took your money and said like,
No. They did supply the goods. It was just very like
very
you click once and it's just no checkout. You've just bought it. You know?
Right.
Can you tell me the name of this website so people can avoid it?
Sure. Well, I mean, I do like their things, so I guess I can recommend that. But if you want to get swindled, it's well, I don't know if I want to. What if I get sponsored by them? I don't want to besmirch names. Wait, I'll tell you just to don't put in the final edit. It's .com. Yeah.
Are you sure you want me to censor that? Because I feel like people have a right to know, like, the websites that are going to trick them into spending more money.
Well, the only thing, people have a right to party, and I don't really know, like, beyond that, I don't think people have a lot of rights.
Right.
Apparently it's still Happy Holidays, 3 months late on their website. So,
Well,
happy
I mean, there's
Christmas,
always
everyone.
some sort of holiday.
Yeah.
No, actually, yeah, because when I bought it, it was the Lunar New Year one, which I was like, all right, that's kind of a bit late, but sure, maybe it's like a month-long Lunar New Year thing. I don't know how long Lunar New Year's goes, but now it's just back to Christmas. That's funny. Again, it's one of those things that always got like a sale and it's always only on for another 5 hours, so you better act fast kind of thing.
But then you refresh and the timer starts over.
Yeah. But I mean, for what it is worth, like they do have the plugins that I've used at the very least are very good. And they do exactly what I need them to do. So
Yeah.
the wild world of plugins. I'm sure everyone's excited about that.
That's a really odd mix of, like, a very useful website and very deceptive purchasing practices.
Yeah.
I was talking to Tom Videoga from yesterday's podcast the other day about games that do shady shit. Like Dune 2016, pretty much considered by everyone to be a great game, myself included. I love that game, but they like withheld review copies from like they didn't let anyone review it until after it was out, and so everyone like it just made that seem super suspicious, like the game was actually really shitty.
Yeah. Also, it was really dumb because the game was great and they could have benefited a lot from it.
Yeah, it just shows they had like no faith in the game or something. It was really weird, but it's like, yeah, it's so bizarre when you see like you've got a good product, like just let the product speak for itself. You don't have to do this shady shit to sell it. I mean, sure, you might get a bit more money. But
Also, I hear the beta of that game also got shit on, so it's like a combination of all those three things that made it. They really screwed the pooch.
Yeah, it's likely the game was just so good that
really
it like
fucked the dog.
pulled it.
They did the opposite with the Eternal though.
Yeah.
Like Eternal, they fucking promoted that shit like crazy.
Well, they'd be stupid not to in that situation.
Like, yeah, that's true.
They flew influencers out and they chainsawed them to death.
Yeah,
that'd be sweet.
That would be sweet.
It's the new BuzzFeed downsizing. They send all their game reviewers over to Doom Eternal to get killed.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right, guys, we're getting to that overtime point. If we want to keep going, we can, but we got to cut out for patrons. Otherwise, we should probably wrap up.
I reckon we wrap up.
Yeah, let's wrap up. All right. Well, thank you for listening to the first podcast.
But it won't be the last
and
podcast.
Lars, where can people find you? Huh?
Wait, what'd you ask?
I said, where can people find you and keep the PP?
Minikudos. Whatever, I don't care. Where can people find you?
Lars, where can people find you?
They're already here.
Lars, what's your address?
Okay.
What's your phone number?
Yeah, what's your address?
What's your social security number?
It's 5-0.
If anyone wants to find you on Tinder, what like kind of general area do they need to be in? What if that was like something people did there? Like, and if you'd like to catch me on Tinder, you can find me within a 5-kilometer radius of, like, they just give like a landmark or something. I'm there most days from 3 to 5. That's something some really narcissistic, like, rice gum type would do. Like, I'm going to be like those fucking, like, really trashy channels where it's like, be sure to comment, like, and subscribe on my latest Instagram post for your chance at a shout out. That, like, I'm going to be at this KFC in this street, swiping right on all Tinder notifications for the next 3 hours. So be sure to come on down.
You want a chance to fuck me?
I could totally see Rice Gum doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And if you want to find me, just go to reddit.com and then type in the search bar r/gooncaves.
That's reddit.com/r/gooncaves. Caves, GOONCAVES.
Speaking of which, I have a new subreddit recommendation for you guys if you haven't seen it yet.
Lars's subreddit recommendations. How's it going to Top Goon Caves?
So, are you guys familiar with what a... my mouth is...
Yes, I am
is
familiar
mushed
with
Shoots
today.
in your mouth.
Are you guys familiar with what a dependa is?
What a what?
No.
Dependa.
Dependa? Is that the adult diapers?
No.
Is it like
that's
a-
depends.
Is it like a fetish thing where it's like you've got like someone you depend on?
No,
Like a
it's...
feeder?
A dependa is kind of like... you guys know what a bridezilla is like?
Yeah.
It's the army wife version of that. Where it's like...
Oh, yeah.
You know the types that like they get married after 3 weeks and just because they the husband wants to get out of the barracks and the wife just wants like a paycheck.
Living in California, that's pretty much like 1 out of 3 women.
Well, there's a subreddit called Just Dependa Things, which is really funny. It's just kind of like poking fun at those people. It like posts their rage and stuff.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I have to check that out. There's the opposite, the like I guess the army equivalent of that, like so that's the depender, and their husband or wife equivalent is one called Just Boot Things. And it's about like people, because they call them boots, don't they? Like when you just join the army, or actually no, I think it's like a mindset. It's the idea of like you join the army and now you're like this badass, and
Right.
like the sort of guys who get real fucking gung ho about that sort of shit. So like you can be like a vet and be a boot. Like it's not necessarily like a rank or like because you're green or whatever. It's just it's if you're that kind of douchebag. But there's a subreddit called Just Boot Things, and it's just making fun of all these. These,
I mean, a dependent is also very much a mindset. It's like, we both serve in the army, and being the Marine wife is actually harder than being a Marine. And I mean, can I speak to your manager? And that kind of
yes. There's one I saw where they had like someone's there was this woman's CV. And it had like military service listed on it. And it was like rank army wife or something. It's that kind of shit. It's like, no, you didn't do shit. You didn't serve. Get out of here. It's kind of stolen valor almost.
Yeah, a lot of people apparently who are military wives and military spouses, they try to get discounts because they're like because there's a lot of appreciation for the military in America. I don't know if it's the same over in Australia, but
yeah, not really.
Quite a lot of places here will give you a military discount if you're an active or retired service member. And so a lot of dependas try to kind of ride on that.
Yeah.
Where they're like, oh, well, I'm an army wife, so I serve, so I should get the discount.
I live on base. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a very interesting concept to me. Just the idea of like the army, just the army in general, just seems so baffling to me. I know people who serve, and it is like it is what it is, but
yeah,
just reminds me of this one time at a job I had back in the day, which had a teacher discount. It was just really interesting because you would see a lot of the people who tried to claim it were indeed teachers, but then you get kind of edge cases where it's like, oh, I'm a retired teacher, or I teach at a private school. And then some people would kind of try to latch onto it. They're like, yeah, I'm a teacher. I'm a consultant. So I teach people, I consultate, teach them. And like they'd come up with the weirdest ways in which they were quote unquote a teacher.
I'm a parent. I taught my kids how to speak.
Well, I mean, if they were literally homeschooling the kid, we would give the discount, but we wouldn't not if they weren't.
It's a very open-ended discount. It's like it's like really nice. Like if you're going to give discounts to like the military, I mean, teachers do equally. Like I shouldn't say equally. Teachers also have a very hard job. They're not getting shot at. But
what's a different kind of hard?
Have you ever been in a room
in America?
Sometimes they do get shot.
Whoa!
It's not funny either. Like it's really fucked up.
Thanks for talking about the military. We should do this again. I like to
do the podcast together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why don't we try it again next week? I wonder what that would be. That'd be a hoot.
No promises. Anyway, this has been Lars, Doplex, and me. You can find us at podcast.
You've been listening to the first podcast, guys.
You find
Subscribe
us at
to us
podcast.
on youtube.com/c/the first podcast if you haven't already. Donate over on Patreon at patreon.com/T1podcast to get bonus episodes of the show and more. This is Lars signing out. I don't know what to say now.